So I'll read it off to you. He spoke to the media, and Brock Nelson was asked on whether he wants to remain in New York. Here's the full quote. There's a part 2, so I'll read the part 2 as well. He says, "I want what's best for me, my family, and team, and everything. There's a lot of factors that go into it. I know everybody wants an answer right now. That's not how the world works. You don't always get what you want. Everything will sort itself out. Lou's a great guy. I love playing for him. He's done a lot for me. He's given me a great opportunity the last 7 years I've had him. My agent has a great relationship with him and communicates with him." That was it.
Yeah. Well, that's the second one as well, right?
Yeah, the second as well.
Yeah. It's not a nothing burger, but it's not he's gone. He probably is. He's at least leaving the door open for that. It feels like, but he's not doing it in a way where it's not expected or it's not unexpected, right? This isn't, as you said to me when this came out, like, this isn't the John Tavares situation all over again. It really isn't.
No, John Tavares was much more vague. Like, Brock is essentially saying, I want to leave my options open, which is fine. He has every right to do that. And if he doesn't take that 3-year deal that's offered to him, as we were saying in the last episode, Lou then has to probably pivot. And you know what? That's probably okay for Brock. And if he wants to be here and wants to accept that contract, then I'm sure we'll have news in the next couple of weeks that Brock Nelson signed some sort of extension. And you go from there. We've made our opinions clear on what we think they should do in that circumstance, but it's not the Tavares situation, because John Tavares would come on and say, I want to be here. I was drafted here. This is where I am, and this and that. And he said not to trade him in 2017-18 to Garth Snow. So things were very different.
It was very different then, and it is very different now. I have to change a little bit of what I said. Just the very first thing. I think the first things that came out of my mouth was, this doesn't mean that he's gone. I don't want to say that with so much conviction, because this does, as we said, leaves the door open. And as you aptly pointed out, it seems that a contract was offered to him. And if the contract was signed, he wouldn't be saying this. The contract would be signed and he would be here, right? So it does feel like he's basically got a foot out the door, or he's looking at us with that foot out the door, saying, like, if you up the ante, maybe that foot stays in, but otherwise it's going out. And Lou's, I don't think he's going to budge from that 3-year contract that he gave him.
No, I don't think so either. And we'll see. Maybe like Nelson's side negotiates and be like, yeah, he'll stay if you give him, I don't know, whatever it is, 4 by 6.5 or 7, whatever the number he's actually looking for, right? Mm-hmm. And then that's on Lou. Does he want to do that, or would he rather move on? And we'll cross that bridge when we get there, kind of a thing. But I do think it's important to bring up, because as you mentioned, or what I said earlier to you on this before, earlier in the week, it is different than the Tavares situation. And like, I'm more confident that this will get resolved in some way. And maybe that's on me, because I'm going to give Lou the benefit of the doubt that he's not going to just walk him up to free agency. I think we're getting one of two things. I think he's either signing an extension and it'll be announced before the trade deadline, or he will be traded, which will obviously happen before the trade deadline. Yeah,
it's one of two options. I agree. I don't think it's going to be, well, we're not trading you, so you better sign. that would be really, really dumb. And I don't think Lou's going to do that. As much as people like crap on him and his GMing, he's not that dumb. He's not stupid. He's not going to let that happen. It's going to be one of the two, which is why we're having these discussions now, as we've mentioned on the show before. Like, Lou is having this discussion, or offered this contract now, to be like, well, I need to set myself up getting into the trade deadline. And we're going to take these 2 weeks. Breakaway. Good job, Bennington. We're going to take these 2 weeks to assess where we are in this situation. Are you going to sign? Are you going to stay? Do we have to also then enter in a contract negotiation, which ideally, for Brock Nelson, he does. He's just not going to sign the first thing he sees. But I believe that they're going to take these next couple of weeks throughout this Four Nations tournament to negotiate said contract, see if they can reach an agreement. And if not, then it's going to be trade line. I would rather him be traded, and I know you do too.
Yep.
But we'll see. It seems that Lou's working hard towards an extension, and not Lou, but Brock is at least open to it. Do you get that impression as well, that he's at least open to staying?
Yeah, I think he's open to staying if the right offer is placed, but I don't think it's like, you got to sign me. I'll sign even for a team-friendly deal. I want to be here. Like, if it doesn't work out, I think he's totally fine going to the market, but it's not like, you got to get me out of here. I don't want to be here anymore either. Exactly.
So it's kind of refreshing in that sense, where it's like, I don't want to go, but I want to see what my options are. And I don't necessarily he's taking it as a business, which they have to do. And they should do, especially at his age, right? Like, how many more contracts is he going to get like this?
Yeah, this is his last big one, right? Like, he's going to be 34. So let's say he signs for 3 years. That brings him to 36. He'll be turning 37. Like, at that point, you're signing 1-year deals for the rest of the time that you play, right?
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Unless, like, for some reason he ages and pulls a Benjamin Button, which is likely impossible because he already looks like a 60-year-old player.
If you like that, make sure to subscribe to Up the Turnpike on Patreon for more exclusive New York Islanders content.